Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Bob DiMaria, and I have a special insight that I want to give you today that I learned many years ago. We're going to talk about calcium, magnesium combination, flax oil, and I also have flax oil capsules. So let's start way back a long time ago how important calcium is. So when I was a kid, I used to get poison ivy. I used to get cold sores, fever blisters, and my first recognition and realization of them, I was in the third grade. You say, really? Yes, I can remember. I just had them. So then when I was growing up, I played Little League baseball, and I used to have migrating pain in my body. So I didn't put all this together till after I went to school and I started to understand physiology. So what was going on in my body? I probably had a low thyroid because I had these growing pains. So this is really important for you moms watching us right now, because you're gonna have little leaguers, or you're gonna have girls that are dancing and being involved in soccer, etc. They're gonna have growing pains. My mom and dad schlepped me everywhere, and I had examinations, but nobody could ever figure out what's going on. So as I went to school and I had physiology and I started to piece things together, I more than likely had a calcium deficiency. So what I have learned over time is that calcium glues cell membranes together. So one of the things that my dad taught me when I was a kid, he said, if somebody ever has a fever, right afterwards, mark where they are on the wall with their height. Right after the fever, chances are they're going through a growing spurt. They're going through a growing spurt because their body needs calcium. So going back to calcium, it glues cell membranes together. So if you're in the sun, which we'll talk about, or if you have a lot of stress in your life, the pH is going to be reduced, or acid, and your body is going to burn more minerals, and one of those minerals is calcium. So going back to the poison ivy. So this is just something I'll never read about in a book. It just happened to Dr. Bob. I used to get poison ivy during the summertime, but when I started taking calcium, I noticed that my poison ivy went away. So for some of you right now that have kids that have poison ivy, you might want to make sure that they have enough calcium. This is really significant. So what the next happened is that when we were raising Dr. Anthony, his brother Dominic, and his mom Debbie, and we'd go to Florida during spring break, sometimes I'd come back and I would have fever blisters. Part of what was going on is, now this is also important, sunshine on your skin converts the cholesterol to vitamin D. Vitamin D helps calcium get absorbed from the intestine to the blood. Now, what I did over time, is flax oil takes it from the blood to the skin. So what we did as a family, we'd wake up every day and take 2 or 3 magnesiums, good combination of calcium, magnesium. So when you travel on a plane today, though, we used to travel before, obviously, TSA. We could easily take anything on the plane. But now you could get the omega capsules, flax capsules. So what I recommend, depending on how big your children are, if you have smaller children, give 1 CalMag and have them get the flax and squeeze it with their teeth. They're going to put oil in their body. The oil takes the calcium from inside of the intestine into the blood all the way to your skin. So it's going to protect your skin from having blisters on it. So if you're an adult, you can take up to 6 to 8, 2 in the morning, flax with 2 or 3 calciums, same at lunch, same at dinner when you're in the sun. Now, anytime you can take up to 1 tablespoon of flax oil per 100 pounds. That's just a rough rule of thumb. How much do you take? 1 tablespoon per 100 pounds. It's nothing to do with how old you are. It's about how big you are. So that's significant. So I thought this was kind of silly. But when we used to go on vacation, I would see people would put special lotion on their lips so they wouldn't get cold sores. Well, guess what? They still would get the cold sore because the calcium is being impacted by the skin in your whole body. So you can schlep anything you want on your lips, but unless you make that calcium strong, it could be an issue. You have to have it. 1 tablespoon the liquid per 100 pounds. Any age can take it. It's an omega-3 fat. So I've been really fortunate. I've written several books. I wrote a book about trans fat. We go into very specific detail about flax oil in the book and how important it is. Flax oil is a precursor to omega-3 oils. Omega-3 oils, let's say, like salmon oil or anchovy oil or sardine oil. So in our practice, we use Bio-Omega 1000, which is salmon oil. That's already, or I'm sorry, not salmon oil, anchovy and sardine oil. For the plant base, these oils help make fat in your brain called DHA, fat for your heart called EPA. You can say, well, Dr. Bob, can we measure how much oil we have in our body? Yes, you can. We have a test called the Omega test. The Omega test will tell us how much fat you have for your brain, DHA, the precursor fat, DPA, the fat for your heart called EPA. Now they also go to another level and they check the fat that is called arachidonic acid. You can say, well, what is that all about? Arachidonic acid is the fat that's found in dairy. So arachidonic acid can cause pain. That's why we suggest to our patients, our practice members, to minimize dairy, especially ice cream and yogurt, because you're going to have pain in your body because of the arachidonic acid. And I'm bringing that up to you because most of you don't have enough omega-3 oil. So if you don't have enough omega-3 oil, which takes pain away by something called a prostaglandin, and you're doing too much dairy and you're not doing enough good oil, you're going to have pain in your body. So let's kind of wrap this up just a little bit for you. Calcium helps glue cell membranes together. When you don't have that gluing together, viruses can get in your body. You may have a fever blister. On the blood test, side note, there's something we do here called the CBC, that's Charlie Bravo Charlie, with a differential. So if you have a cough, if this is the summertime or the wintertime, I don't care what time it is, a dry cough, you could talk to Dr. Kaysen, myself, Dr. Anthony, and we could do the CBC in a differential, and your lymphocytes, if they're elevated, it means you have a virus. So if you're getting a cold sore and you're having a little bit of a cough, it could be calcium, but it could be stress, could be too much sunshine, or sugar. Sugar will take calcium out of the body. Flax oil. So let me explain to you something about this flax oil. So my wife, Debbie, has used this flax oil for her salad dressing. So this has something in it called lignans. So you want to get a stick or a skewer or something and really stir this good. And we would hold our flax oil in the refrigerator upside down, and there'll be some brown, kind of like pieces of the flax. This is good for you. So she would use flax oil as a part of her salad dressing. So many of you always want to know what to do salad dressing wise. A couple other thoughts. Leg cramps at night is also always a calcium need. Best to take calcium on an empty stomach. It's easily absorbed. So this is a lot of information. You might want to sit and watch this more than one time, but I'll know it'll make a huge difference in your entire family's overall health. I'm Dr. Bob DeMaria.